this video, we're going to talk about adequate clearances. And what that basically means is the distance between you and the vehicle in front, vehicles or objects that you're overtaking on the sides, and vehicles behind. So first of all, we'll talk about the distance to the vehicle in front and behind. Now, when you're on the move, you should always have at least a 2-second distance in the dry, a 4-second distance in the wet, and 10-second distance in snow or ice. And what that basically means is when the vehicle in front of you goes past a fixed point, so say a lamppost, a parked car, a tree, a road marking, you then count 0 as they get to it, 1, 2, and at that point or after is when you should go past it. If you see that you are getting to that point within that 2-second distance, slow it down a little bit, just ease off the gas, allow a bigger gap, and then count again. If it's in the wet, then again 4 seconds. But what we also want to think about is the vehicle behind. Now, although we can't manage their distance, we can compensate for it. So say for instance, now it's a wet day, so we should have a 4-second distance between us and the car in front. We need to have a 4-second in front and a 4-second behind. So if I can see in the rear view mirror that the car behind is only 2 seconds behind, I will add that additional 2 seconds onto the front. So I now have a 6-second distance between me and the car in front to compensate to make the overall distance 8 seconds. Now, when you're stopping behind another vehicle, so when you're in traffic, we should be able to see T&T, tyres and tarmac. Now, this will differ from your perspective because of different heights, different seating positions. It roughly equates to a 1 car length gap, so it's a lot bigger than what a lot of people would think. And the reason for that is if the car in front breaks down, you can go around it without having to reverse. Also compensating just in case they roll back on a hill. And also you want to think if they do stall, for instance, and you want to go past them, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Again, you want to be able to do that swiftly. Now, for the distances to the sides of the vehicle, we should have a 1 door length minimum gap. So if somebody were to open a car door, you wouldn't take it off the hinges. And also that's for pedestrian safety. So by keeping that bigger distance, if a pedestrian does step out in front of your car, it equates to 2 of their paces before they're in front of the path of your vehicle, rather than just a 1 step and you hitting their ankle before it's even touched the ground. So I'm now going to show you what that looks like on the move. As we said, it is a wet day today, just to add to the bit of fun. So I'm just going to turn the demisters on a little bit. And like we said, what we're thinking about is keeping those distances to the vehicle in front and vehicles on the side. So when I'm coming out here, I've got to be careful of the parked cars on the left. And because I'm in the middle of the road, I need to make sure there's nothing coming on the right as well. And you can see I'm keeping a nice big gap. I'm on the wrong side of the white line. That is not an issue at all. Remember, the white line can be crossed if you have no other choice. It is not an issue at all. The examiner cannot penalise you. So at the moment, I'm actually driving again over this white line just to give myself the distance from the parked vehicles on the left. Once I've gone round those parked vehicles, I can then move it back over to the left-hand side. If I do come into that situation and I have absolutely no choice but to move over to the left because the oncoming vehicle is squeezing me, reduce your speed first. It's what we call less space, less pace. So a good example of that would be here with this bus. I could squeeze through here, I'm not going to bother, but now I can, I'm just going to have a slower speed. So think about it like threading a needle. When you're trying to thread a needle, you're not trying to get the cotton to go through the needle as fast as possible, you're doing it nice and slowly, and that just allows you to be more accurate. So again, here you can see that I am well over to avoid the parked cars on the left. Again, that's not an issue at all. So when we go to this with this car in front, when it gets to the telegraph pole, we'll count it. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a good distance. The vehicle behind me is probably about a 3-second distance, so we need to add that on. So now I've just dropped it back a little bit further. So now we count it when we go past the 4x4 on the left. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So still got the same distance. So again, just easing off the gas a little bit. Past the island. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I've compensated for that vehicle behind. Also think about when that vehicle behind is close, think about the potential hazard like we were talking about on our use of mirrors lesson plan. So just ease off the gas, cover your brake, if possible maybe even use a little bit of brake, just so you're giving them that little bit more time to be more aware of what's going on in front, lessen the chance of that impact. So again, you can see I'm keeping a nice big gap here to the vehicles in front. I'm waiting to see it's safe, and you can see I'm just updating my mirror again just to make sure there's no one coming past. In fact, I'm going to turn left here just so I can show you the distance kept between us and the vehicle in front. So this is the tyres and tarmac, so I can see the rear tyres underneath that truck, so it equates to about 1 car length. So I hope that video has helped, and as always, if you do have any questions, please put a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can.